Sort of.
Good afternoon, welcome to the press conference for Novak Djokovic. Please, as always, raise your hand and state your organisation when asking a question. We'll just start. Novak, just give us your initial thoughts on the match today.
Yes, good afternoon. Well, I think the quality of tennis was really high from my side, much better than the first match performance. And, you know, I knew that I had to start off well today because I was facing a really tricky opponent, someone that serves well, has big serve, big forehand, so I didn't want to give him too much time. I played with not too many unforced errors from back of the court. Whenever I needed to put the return in, I did. So all in all, just a really satisfying performance.
Joseph Regal, tennis head. Great win today, Novak. You look very comfortable out there. We had the news this morning that Andy is going to play the Laver Cup this September in London at the O2 Arena. You haven't played the event since your debut in 2018, but given the fact that your three historically biggest rivals, Rafa, Roger and Andy, are all set to play, would you consider joining them to make a full set? And how unique would it be to have all four of you playing that event on the same team?
It would be very unique. It is a possibility. So, I mean, my agent has communication with the Laver Cup team, and you know, we have an agreement that there will be a decision after Wimbledon is finished.
And if you did play, how would it feel to play at that venue specifically, considering, you know, your second most recent match with Murray was in the ATP finals in 2016?
Well, Laver Cup is the only competition where you can have, you know, all the big rivals, the big three, big four players joining in the same team. You know, so of course it is a very different and exciting concept for us players, but also for the fans around the world. So of course the O2 Arena is a familiar venue for me and for us players. We've been playing more than 10 years the World Tour finals in that arena, and you know, I think it stayed there for a long time with a reason, because it was such a successful event. You know, full stands every match, singles, doubles. So I think the tradition here in Britain for tennis has contributed to a very successful event over the course of more than 10 years. So of course it would be pleasure to play there again, and I think that regardless if I play or not, is going to be a stunning event with full stands, no doubt.
Hi, Novak. Howard Fendrich with the Associated Press. I wanted to ask you about changeovers, and do you find that time valuable to you, and how do you tend to spend that time other than things like refueling, maybe resting, depending on the nature of the match? I imagine it changes from day to day and match to match, and maybe how much of it is about strategy that day or how much of it is about other things in your mind during that time.
Well, I guess we're all different. I mean, I can speak for myself. I try to use that very short time to obviously hydrate myself and clean up my sweat, but also do some conscious breathing and recentering, so to say, techniques that I have and that have helped me throughout my career. Sometimes you actually don't have a minute, because they start the shot clock as soon as the last point of the previous game is done. So by the time you walked eventually to get a towel and to get to the bench, it's already 20-30 seconds past. So very, very short time with these new rules, with this shot clock. I don't like it, to be honest, so much, because I feel like there's just it's too much pressure, on time. I understand that certain players, I mean, maybe including myself in the past, have taken too much time. Maybe the ball bouncing, I know that people mind that with me, and I get that. But I think we went a bit too far with speeding up the whole process. It just whenever you talk to chair umpires, they obviously say that it's the rules, and that it's I think in Roland Garros, I don't know if it's here, but I remember in Roland Garros the system was automatic, so it just starts counting down the time, the clock, as soon as the last shot was made in the previous game. So sometimes when you're playing physical battles, you feel like you need that minute sitting, but you actually don't have the minute sitting. So look, everyone uses that time differently. I think it really depends on the time of the match. Of course, the earlier in the match, the fresher you are, so you don't feel like you need much time to spend on the bench. And then, of course, playing on grass and clay is completely different. Less rallies, grueling rallies on grass than you have on clay. So, of course, that affects the heartbeat, and that affects also whether you feel you need more oxygen and more time to recuperate.
I know that. Dan King from The Sun. You spoke, I think, in Roland Garros about somebody going to reach out to Boris Becker, and I wondered what he'd been able to do in that regard with him, but also his girlfriend and Noah were in your box today. How important was it for you to make that gesture to them and through them to him?
Yes, well, haven't been communicating directly to him, but I've been communicating to him through them, and I was really glad to have hosted his girlfriend and his son Noah to my first round, and now today's second round match. Noah and his younger brother Elias are going to visit Boris, I think, in the next few days for the first time since he went to prison. And I've been just trying to give support to people around him, his closest people, his family members, because I consider Boris really a family member, someone that I greatly appreciate, respect, and care about. We've been through a lot together, during those 3 years of collaboration, but our relationship dates back even before that, and of course after we finished our professional relationship, we always stayed close, and him with my team, with my agents, with my family. So of course it breaks my heart to see what's happening to him, and I can only imagine how hard it is for his family members. So of course this is a little gesture of friendship, to invite them, and he knows and they know that they can always count on me, for whatever support or help I can provide.
Could we just have one last question?
Novak, Jacqueline Magnay from the Australian newspaper. I was just wondering, in today's match where you had an opponent with Australia against his name, whether that affected your intensity of play today. And you have also previously spoken about how uncomfortable you felt on the court after what happened in Australia. How are you feeling now when you get on the court?
My intensity was basically like any other match, really. I just tried to execute the tactics and game plan and do what I can to win the match. I did not have any extra intensity or desire to win this match just because Thanasi is Australian. Actually, in contrary, I mean, I really have a good relationship with Thanasi, and he's a great guy, and we get along off the court very well. And of course, on the court we want to win against each other. And but I felt that there was a lot of respect, today between the two players, and that's what matters the most. Of course, that one of us gets the win, but there's always, I think, a necessity to show respect for the game and for each other. So I hope I answered your question, but I don't have any grudge over anybody really coming from Australia.